You've said to me in the past that once you've done things, you sort of just let them go. Is that where you are with this at the moment?
That's always the case. What I'd add to that is if there's a song I'm not happy with, then it's mine. It stays, belongs to me in a sense. If I am happy with it, if I'm good in a sense, then I let it go. It's not something I decide to do. It's what happens. It sort of leaves me, and it belongs to everyone and anyone, whoever. But if I don't like what I've done, it's mine.
Okay.
It stays mine.
I understand what you're saying. So how do you feel about True North as a whole entity? Because you've almost created, and I know there were sort of influences from Bruce Springsteen, you've almost created a new sort of way of bringing music to your fans and the world, with the film and the CD and the music all in one package.
Yeah, so in a sense, it's back to concept albums, you could say, which you would see a lot of in, I believe, in the 70s, and then they were gone. So it's got to make sense. I mean, I think concept albums get really tiring if you kind of have to make it because it's what you do. But when you need to do it, when it's what naturally wants to happen, then I think they can be interesting.
Yeah, do you know what surprises me about you and the other guys in Aha is there I am sometimes, and I'm thinking to myself, Mags is going to be up in the forest somewhere doing his artwork. Paul's going to be over in Los Angeles twiddling with his guitars. Morten's going to be dressed as a Viking, doing something like that. And then all of a sudden you announce something which brings more to the Aha legacy, and that's what you're all trying to achieve, right?
Again, maybe not consciously, but when we do something, then we have our benchmark and we reach for it, and because we're all three of us are driven that way, and it becomes what it becomes as a result of that. Also, as a result of the diversity in the band, the fact that we are three really different characters, wanting different things, wanting other things, never really agreeing on much. But that is interesting in life because this is diversity, and bring it together, and something happens that is not me, not Paul, not Magna, but something other there than we are, so individually, obviously. So, and not necessarily under amicable terms, even, doesn't have to be that. But it comes together and it becomes an entity, an identity, a character of its own.
So where would you rank this in terms of, the whole Aha catalogue?
I don't think like that, but it's coming back to me as I have to leave the project once it's done. I'm full of it in the sense that I need to get rid of it in my system. So I don't listen to anything in quite some time, and then like with this, I've only just started to listen back to what we did, and I was kind of positively surprised. It was better than I remembered, in a sense. But I feel good about it now. But when you're too close to it, when you've been in the thick of it for during that process, you don't really see it, and you don't see it properly, and that's why you have to go away from it and then come back to it later on, which I have now with this, and it's not so bad.
Now I got loads that I've got to dive into, Morten, because your Aha fans would absolutely kill me if I didn't ask you a few questions. So first up, okay, I'm hearing that there isn't going to be a True North Aha tour. Is that right?
Certainly not right away. No, we've just come off 5 months of touring, and we are in need of a break, you could say. None of us want to talk about any touring at this point.
And how do you feel about the film element of True North? Because that's beautiful as well, isn't it? Stian has done an absolutely wonderful job in combining the live performance with your view of your homeland.
Yeah. No, it's good. it was left in able hands.
And is it your manifesto for the future?
I think it's a comment to it at a particular point in time. And as we move along the timeline, there will be other things. There will be more things. I've got a lot of songs I'm working on myself now in my own name, and there'll be more.
Well, you brought me very nicely onto that, actually, because I know that you're alongside Peter Kavintz again, and you are working on your next solo project. So how far along are we on that, Morten?
Already a good number of songs are sort of identified, you could say, and I'm in the process now of bringing them sort of up on the table and working them. So it is. Some have come quite far along, but I'm still not sure what kind of production-wise, what direction I'm keen on going in. So I'm sort of in the middle, in the thick of it somewhere.
Are you? Okay. And is that in Sweden, or are you doing that in Norway and around Oslo?
I haven't seen Peter since this February. And then we did the tour, and I have a lot of things to work on my own. And then I will also work with Peter, but not right away.
And of course, you had a little bit of a disappointment, didn't you, with your UK dates over here, because you didn't have a well throat, did you, when some of the UK dates were going to be on? So
cancellations.
Yeah. Is there a feeling that you'd like to get back either on your own or at some stage later on with the band to revisit some of the fans?
Those things happen when they do. I would love to do that. But I'm not sure what to answer there, because it's not a decisive plan as of yet. When I lost my voice now, because I did get the COVID in the end myself also, and the voice just went. I just went from one day to the next. That is a real drag. But when it happened, I started to sort of look back on all these years, and I've been really sort of fortunate to stay healthy. I've done an incredible amount of gigs, really, without having to cancel it. There's been very little of that in my career. But when it happens, it's not good.
And of course, our songs aren't easy to sing, are they?
No, but you need the voice. You either have it or you don't really.
Yes, well, you've certainly got the voice there, Morten, no question. Now, listen, I'm going to say something really controversial right now, okay? And
really? That's a bit of a promise.
It's a promise, okay? Now, listen, Morten, do you know what? Forgive me for saying this, I couldn't care less if I never heard Take On Me ever again. I'm much more interested in hearing what Morten's going to do next on his solo project, or indeed the songs which have just come out on True North. Is that wrong of me?
No. Far from it. Plus, it seems between you and me that Take On Me is doing very well on its own.
Yes, it's got it has got a little bit of a life on its own, and I suppose without that, perhaps we wouldn't be talking now, would we? So I know you're very fond of it as well.
I think we would be talking quite frankly to respond to that. Aha's career is our catalogue is split into Take On Me and then the rest of our songs. And that really is essentially, it's what we tour on, it's who we are essentially as a band. But because Take On Me has just taken on its own course entirely by itself. And like I've said on many occasions, it's much better at being a pop star than we ever were. It lives its own life and does what it wants to do, irrespective of us. But the same goes the other way. We do what we do.
And Morten, are you happy in 2022 as we head towards 2023? Are you living your best life at the moment?
Yeah, but these are funny times, for all of us. So to say that I'm happy, I don't know that I can say yes to that. I both am. At the same time, it is difficult to feel happy about this massive loss of diversity that's happening around us on a daily basis, and to be mindful of that, to know that this is what we are doing, but puts a bit of I don't know, it does actually tint sort of the color of the sky a little.